No one likes to live next to a boarded up, neglected house or an overgrown yard. We all like to come home to an attractive, inviting neighborhood that is safe for our kids and grandkids. These days, the Planning and Development Department's Neighborhood Services Division is reaching out to homeowners to help improve the look of eyesore properties. And today, Chief Building Official Mike Scott is going to tell us how. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you, Terry.
Well, today we're in an interesting neighborhood that is seeing some improvements being made. Can you start us off by telling us what does the Neighborhood Services Division do?
Sure. We're excited in the direction that the Neighborhood Services Department's going right now. We're meeting with people that have vacant and boarded up structures. We're meeting with people that have dilapidated properties. We're talking with them and giving them their options. We're working closely with other departments to help get these properties cleaned up, such as solid waste and the police department. And usually whenever we meet with a new homeowner, we'll just talk with them and discuss all those options. We give them our little pamphlet that we've made, which kind of discusses all their options and gives them phone numbers of also places that could help them, such as CAPS with solid waste. But we also try to define some kind of plan with some goals that they can meet, like where we're going to be in 30 days, where we're going to be in 60 days. And then we discuss, options that if they choose not to do anything, what could happen. And those options are not popular with anybody, but it's what's best for the neighborhood and best for the city, and so that's what we have to do.
And Neighborhood Services is doing the job a little differently now, isn't it?
We are. We're a little less tolerant than we used to be in the past. The courts have been an exceptional help. City attorney and the assistant city attorney, they've worked with us very well. We're getting people that don't want to comply, we're getting them in court, and we're getting substantial fines, which is kind of forcing them to either take care of their property or sell it. And that's what we want. We don't care if you sell it or not. We just want you to take care of it. But if selling it is your best option, by all means, just sell it and give somebody else an opportunity to do what you see behind us.
So there's increased accountability on the part of property owners. Are you partnering with other departments to make this happen?
Yes, we are. Jeff Stressner with the police department comes to our office every morning, meets with the Neighborhood Services Division inspectors. They talk about issue properties and where are they. And Jeff also, if needed, he will go out with us to maybe some nuisance properties that are a little uncomfortable for our inspectors. He will go with us and meet with those owners, and just his presence there really makes it a little easier sometimes to just get compliance, to have an officer there. So we really appreciate his help. Randy Atkinson and Brian Scheller with the solid waste department are just, every time we call that we have a problem, they're always there. They're there very quick, just awesome guys to work with. We really appreciate what they're doing, and they're really helping us pick up the trash around the city.
How great to have a strengthened relationship with these departments. Working together, you can make more things happen in neighborhoods. And Police Chief Jason Stacey, he often talks about the broken window theory. Why is that important to take care of? Why is it important to secure your property?
It is. We've had several meetings in the past with the police department, not just Jeff Stressner, but also Jason's and a lot of the other ones. And we've talked about properties that are boarded up and broken. They kind of invite crime, because everybody knows they're vacant, and so vagrants can go inside and do whatever they want to do. Nobody lives there. Nobody's going to call on them. They're not really breaking in, but they are. So and also those type of properties really bring down the property values of those homes around them, and so that's why it's important for us to get these fixed up. Because when you see houses like these behind us, the property values around these houses are going to go up because it's more inviting to live here, and it's just great. I just am excited about things like this happening in Hot Springs.
And that leads us to the success story behind us. We actually have a before picture, and you can see the after results are just amazing. What's the story behind this property?
Believe it or not, these people bought this house for $4,000, and there are other houses like this around town if you just look. But they bought this. It was burnt a little bit, but it was not burnt so bad that it needed to be tore down. This guy's a local roofer. He's very handy, and so he saw the potential, and he bought this house for $4,000. they were going to fix it up and rent it out, but his wife, she decided she liked it so much, so they fixed it up and they actually live here now, the people who have bought it. So I mean, it's just great. The inside is amazing. It is more beautiful inside than outside. You just can't imagine the work that they did inside. It's just awesome. It's just amazing.
Yes, and she invited me in as well. I have to say they've done a beautiful job.
Yeah.
No wonder they want to live here.
Right.
There are other success stories throughout town too, and we have a series of pictures of before and afters. Can you walk us through those?
Yeah, there's one on Stover. It was a house that, it was leading down that path of just, it had been vacant so long and it was starting to rot and fall apart. But it was, we talked with the gentleman, we told him about it, he decided he'd fix it up. And as you can see in the after picture, he's not quite finished with it yet, but you can see it's going to be an awesome place too. Just, they're doing such a good job, cleaned up the yard, put new siding on the house, new paint, new everything, and it's another great example. We have other properties around town that have burnt, and like on Clara Street, it was a mobile home that burnt. The lady came and talked to me, and so then the city went in and we tore that down and cleaned that property up. And she now is currently looking to buy another mobile home, a newer one, and put on the property and move back in that property. So that's really what we want. We want people to stay on those properties. We want, people living in those homes. So this is why, we do this, because we don't want a bunch of vacant properties. We want people living there, because the residents in the town, that's what we want, in good neighborhoods.
Yes, and when you live in a place that increases community pride,
Right.
You want to take care of the place where you live.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got those success stories. What about residents who are faced with a rundown property in their neighborhood? What's the first thing they should do?
The first thing they should do is contact our department and the local inspector in that area. Like in this area, it's Edward Richardson. They would come out and they would talk with the owner. If it's a vacant property, they'll locate the owner, send them a letter, and then that owner will call us and we will discuss their options with them, why we want it to be fixed up. If they just want to do the minimum standard, what we want them to do to really get us off their back. And ideally is what we want. When we drive by, if your yard's picked up, all your wood that's on the exterior of the house is painted, your windows are not broken and boarded up, we're going to keep driving by. If you don't want to hear from us, just do those things. We will keep driving by, because we have plenty of other properties to go to. But if you have trash in your yard, broken windows, or boarded up, we're going to stop. We're going to take pictures. We're going to start a file. We're going to notify you. And we're going to give you options, and you're going to have target set. Within 30 days, here's where you need to be. Within 60 days, here's where you need to be. And you need to meet those targets, or unfortunately, you would get a citation. It's not you might get a citation. You will get a citation, and you will go to court. The courts are working very good with us. Just yesterday, a gentleman got $2,000 fine in court because he just didn't want to fix up his two houses. And they looked the same after, several months. Unfortunately, we worked with him for several months trying to get him to do something. But that's just what happens. It's unfortunate. It's not what we want to do. We would much rather you fix up your house.
However, a fine is motivation for some people.
Unfortunately, that's what we have to do. And so maybe now he's a little more motivated because they're still not fixed up. We're going to give him just a short amount of time to get started, or he'll get another citation.
And all this targeted activity is the result of a clearly stated top priority by the Board of Directors and the City Manager for neighborhood beautification, as evidenced by the fact that this year's budget includes money for 2 additional personnel. Tell us about that.
Yeah, the budget increased our personnel and neighborhood services by 2, which is, we currently have 4, and so we're going to get 2 more people, so that's a huge increase. We're going to get a new neighborhood services manager and another inspector, so that all the inspectors' target areas can be just a little bit smaller, and then that way they can be more aggressive and be more seen in the neighborhoods. Because right now the areas are pretty big and it's hard for the inspectors to cover such a large area. But we're excited about the new personnel coming on hand, and we hope that'll really help.
Yes, and adding new personnel is a very intentional decision by the Board of Directors. So we're excited. It obviously adds to the momentum and the results that you're getting in neighborhoods these days. People are excited about seeing the results. The neighbors are talking about what's
Yes.
happened right here on
Yeah.
Combs Road off of Malvern Avenue. So things are moving in Hot Springs, moving forward, aren't they?
Yes, they are, and we're excited about it.
And thanks for telling us some of the the specific stories behind the neighborhood beautification efforts that are ramping up here in Hot Springs. Please let us know of more success stories as we go forward, and maybe we can have a follow-up report.
I will.
Thank you, Mike, for
Thank
joining
you.
us today. And next week we'll bring you more City News.